What's up guys and welcome back to Reverbium. Shaun here on F1 22 where we're going to be starting a My Team career mode, which I'm really excited about. I love the Formula 1 games, so really excited to get going in a career mode on this. So let's get into it. Just FYI, this will be like an episode 0 where we're just setting up the career mode. There'll be no racing in this episode, otherwise it'll be really long. If you're just interested in watching racing in the gameplay, head over to episode 1 where will be the Bahrain Grand Prix. But if you want to see team name, team livery, everything behind the scenes to set up what we're going to do, then feel free to stick around. Our first choice here is what sort of team we want to be from the start, whether we want to be a newcomer, a midfield challenger, or a championship contender. Personally, I like starting at the bottom and working my way up, so we're going to start as a newcomer. We're going to do a full season in the first one as well, so you get to see all the tracks, drive all the tracks, but in later seasons we'll probably cut that back and have different tracks each season to mix it up a bit and keep it interesting. So for this career, we're going to keep the icons in here just as an option to have them later on. We don't have all of them for this year, just last year's ones that are in the game. So we'll keep them in just in case we want to use them. Obviously, it's an option. We don't have to if we want to, and we'll start with these options. So let's make the driver, which of course will be me. Quickly run through these. I am British. Name, obviously, as I said at the start, if you're new here and don't recognise, it's Shaun. No, wrong one. Okay, we'll try that again. Last name. We're going to go for the gamer tag. And abbreviated there. Audio name, we won't need one. There won't be one available. Number, as I have for everything, will be 97. And thankfully, none of the drivers have it, so we can take it.
Now, let's focus on your driver's look.
So, clothing, I'm not going to wear out too much. I'll do the helmet because it doesn't give away anything to do with the livery. A nice bright orange as my favourite colour. We'll go on there for the main bit. We're going to go for a bit more of a teal colour for this nice strip down the side. Slightly more green, I think. We'll go with that, and we'll keep the black. I'm not quite sure where the pink shows up. If I'm honest, as we can't actually spin the helmet. So I think that will do. As I said, the suit will... I'll quickly change the design on it. We want to go for this alpha male looking one. The colours won't match to what we want from the start, but I'll change those later on. Same with the gloves. I'll quickly get them to match, but these colours won't have anything to do with the livery. We'll save that for later. Character pose, a nice big shush the haters, and we want a nice big flying kick when we get on the podium. And really cool, you can't have anything other than a nice old big for when we bring it home.
Okay, boss, let's get this team up and running. The first thing we need to do is register a team name and bring in some important partners. First,
so team details. We'll start off with the team name, which will be nice and simple, of Reverbium Racing.
Let's choose our primary sponsor for this season. Some sponsors
got to choose our first sponsor. We have a few options here. We're not listed to the guy background, we don't need to know that, but we can choose between Xenon Dynamics, Echo, Oxy, Monet Paris, RGB, and X4MIG. I think we're going to go for Xenon Dynamics. We want that nice big signing bonus from the start. We get a nice big weekly income, and I believe we can get 15 Constructors' Championship points this season. So we should be able to get that and get that bonus at the end of the season. So we're going to take that as our sponsor.
So let's sign one of those now. Obviously, the greater the performance and
power unit, we have 4 options here between Renault, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. I want more power than the Renault, so we're going to knock that out immediately. And I'm not too bothered about the high durability. Also, the cost of the Mercedes is quite high. We don't want to limit ourselves on our teammate. So it's going to be between Red Bull and Ferrari. And personally, I want more performance at the start. It's going to help us just keep up with the other teams from the start and not be too far behind and actually make us competitive, and we can worry about durability later. So I think we're going to go for
Not
Ferrari.
much of a team without a second driver. Let's sign a teammate.
So we need to choose our teammate for
Here
the
are
final
the
bit.
drivers interested in joining our team. Look at their stats and pick someone you think can get us good results, as long as we can afford them.
So
We
our
renew
options we
contracts
have
periodically,
are Oscar
so you have plenty
Piastri,
of chances
Felipe
to sign someone
Drugovich,
else
Liam
if the need
Lawson,
arises.
Jack Aitken, Marina Sato, Enzo Fittipaldi and Roy Nissany. I wanted Piastri or Porsche to come up, so Piastri is going to be highest rating, way higher than the rest. So he's going to give us a good chance of helping get those 15 points for the
Looks
season.
like we can afford this power unit supplier and teammate. Go ahead and confirm if you're happy.
So thankfully, because of that nice big signing bonus from our sponsor, we can afford everything, so we can
Let's
go ahead
create
with
the
this.
livery we'll be running this season. We can add more sponsors to the car as we sign them throughout the year. And don't worry, we can edit our look at any time from HQ.
So I'm going to cut out me making the livery and wait for the big reveal when we get to Team HQ. So I'll be back once we've sorted this out. So we'll head to the HQ now. We'll be able to see in the background our badge, which might give a little hint away to the livery colours, as we'll go and see Will Buxton for our big intro.
Hello folks, and welcome to this, a very special edition of Paddock Pass. We're here at the headquarters of Formula One's newest team for an exclusive first look at what they will be bringing to the sport. It's always an exciting moment to welcome a new team onto the grid. However, what makes this occasion a little more special is how strikingly different the cars are this year. Yep, the long-awaited new regulations are finally here, and with them, the start of the next era of Formula One. The 2022 season ushers in a change of direction to the regulations aimed at promoting closer racing, with new aero additions in the form of swooping front and rear wings, along with the new eye-catching 18-inch low-profile tyres that will push tyre technology to the limit. So then, the question remains as to whether this team can grasp the opportunity before them with both hands and lead the charge against the rest of the paddock. We'll find out soon enough, as the new season is just about to begin. But first, let's see the unveiling of the team's car and meet the owner of the brand new Formula One team.
So slightly annoying that the game gives away your livery before the big livery reveal. But here we go, the nice silver and red, which will be our livery for this season. I'm open to suggestions for next year's when we get to there, but this will be our livery for this year. I think it looks quite nice. I like the deep red.
Thanks so much for
look.
inviting us here today.
And we'll
It's
go
been
for our first
wonderful
interview.
to see behind the scenes. As you might expect, I've got about 1 million questions, so let's jump straight in. It's been a long time since we last saw a team owner take their own car onto the track, and the sport's changed enormously in the intervening years. How are you going to handle the responsibilities of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
So thankfully this first question doesn't make too much difference, or doesn't make any difference to our team, so we can pick whatever we want. But we'll go for, it's been a lot of work, there's even more to come.
Let's talk about your teammate. Now, it's clear they're excited to have signed with you, but tell me, what is it that you think they bring to the team?
So we've got Piastri because I think his skill set really suits our team, so we're going to go for that for answer.
So you've obviously been putting a lot of work into the car. I know it's early days, but how do you expect it to feel out there?
So this is the start of the questions that are actually going to affect our car and everything behind the scenes. These will give us a few upgrades from the start. Personally, I want to push chassis and aero early on. We have the engine upgrades already from choosing the Ferrari one. We have quite good power, and durability will slowly improve, but I want to make sure the car gets better from the start so it can actually be competitive. So we're going to go for chassis for this first one.
Most of the other teams can boast years of experience in Formula One. Where do you see the opportunities to make those vital performance gains you need to put you within reach of the other cars?
So we're going to try and balance it out now with aero, keep those two being improved. So we'll go for a fresh pair of eyes that haven't others teams haven't seen. We found some unique ways of reducing drag.
Ultimately,
Yeah,
the
helped
success
our aero
this
department.
season's going to come down to whether you can take positions from the other drivers. What is it about your car that's going to give you that edge in those battles?
So again, we're going to go back to chassis, as I slightly prefer that more to aero, as obviously the cars in general are more beneficial to aero. So we're going to find an incredibly light car, though, that'll be chassis.
And finally, with so many specialist departments working together here at your headquarters, and with such an important deadline coming up, who's getting that coveted Teacher's Gold Star? Which group do you feel the most proud of right now?
So because we have the extra upgrades on chassis, we're going to go for aero off the start, because this will affect the department, not the car, and that'll just help us bring in those aero departments straight away to help improve the car further.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to get an insight from you and, of course, to see around the headquarters. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it, and thank you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you very soon.
So let's actually head into our HQ now, so we can get going, see what we can do. We've got some activities we want to get going for a start, get ourselves some extra, hopefully some extra money, resource points maybe. So we could choose between a pre-season driver press tour, which would give us some driver acclaim, but will cost us some money. We can focus on power and durability. I don't want to do this, as it will take away from everything we've just done with the aero and chassis by answering the questions, so I think that's a bit pointless. The advertisement campaign will give us a bit of team acclaim, but will cost us cash. Merchandise sale will give us 500k of cash, which could be really useful early on. The aero and chassis focus, again, like the power and durability one, I don't really want to do this. Yes, it would improve aero and chassis further, but I don't want to take away from powertrain and durability, because we will need to upgrade those as well, especially if we haven't done anything to improve those off the start, that we don't want to set them off on the back foot already. And the final option is a driver trainer camp to make Piastri better, and will give us 250 resource points, which I think will be really useful. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And for our second one, we're going to do the merchandise sale to get ourselves a bit of cash, which will be helpful as well. And we shouldn't, only 3 days, won't have any time for anything else. Got a few welcome messages, but that's fine. So we have 1,000 R&D already, so let's try and get something in early so we can improve the car somewhat. We're going to start off with Aeros. That's the thing that's mainly behind. As you can see, we're not too bad. We're not at the bottom, thankfully, but we can do some work on it. Chassis, we already have a couple of upgrades from those questions answered, so we're a bit higher up, so we don't want to immediately go for them. Powertrain, we're obviously quite good with the Ferrari one. We have the most powerful engine, worst of the Ferrari powered cars, but we're ahead of everyone else, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And durability, we're way behind, but we want to get the performance out of the car first. So aero will be first, and we'll start with a front downforce 550. We don't have enough points for anything else, so we're going to quickly skip on a bit to this first driver training camp to be done. We get a bit of money, a bit of resource points, and I want to head across to corporate into this contract section and quickly buy a driver perk. We're going to get the power mapping one. It's going to help reduce engine wear, which will just benefit us. We won't have to take so many engine parts later on in the season to help keep penalties down. We've got some more R&D as well, so we can try and get a second aero move done. We could go front again, but I want to try and balance out the front and rear to make sure we're getting both done. Unfortunately, this won't come in before Bahrain now, but it's something we really need to do to help improve that aero. So we'll try and get that in. And we'll skip forward again. We'll get a bit more money from the merchandise sale, and a few more resource points and a bit more money. Those over wheel winglets thankfully come in, which helps with the front aero. We still don't have enough money to really improve anything here. The personnel, again, even the cheapest one is 1 mil to either the analysis suite or pit equipment. That could be quite useful, reducing the pit stop time. We could look to that because it's quite cheap as well. To be one of those things that slightly help us. Marketing as well, everything too expensive, so we have to wait for some more cash. With 400 R&D points, I'm pretty sure that's still not enough. So we have some extra front wing we have to do going forward, rear wing, chassis again, everything too expensive. So we won't be able to do any more upgrades before the first race, and I think that's where we'll probably leave this episode, as next we'll be going racing. So thanks for watching. If you did watch this whole thing, be sure to watch the next episode where we'll be going to Bahrain for the first race of the season, and hopefully we'll get our first points of the season in our first race.